So the reason I have to get started is because I'm standing between you and our first amazing panel. And that's really what we want to get to today, or the other wonderful speakers. But let me offer a welcome while you are getting situated. Reminder, the most comfortable chairs are at the front of the room. So nobody gets to put on the survey that you didn't have a comfortable chair if you leave that front row open, right? Welcome to our 2024 Minnesota Cleantech Innovation Summit. Tremendously excited to be hosting our second annual event. Fantastic lineup of speakers, industry experts, innovative startups. I'm Nina Axelson. I'm the president and founder of Grid Catalyst. It's our second year convening this program. We are a clean tech and energy accelerator, here to really make sure that there is a place for Minnesota innovation and a place for innovation to thrive in Minnesota. If you haven't met me before, you'll learn that I'm pretty dogged about the opportunities here and what we can be building together. So you're gonna hear over and over again today about what those opportunities are, how you can be a part of it, and the collaboration that we could be doing together. I don't usually have notes, so if you see me just trying to glance down, I'm trying to be a little bit, making sure I don't leave anybody out of my comments today. So when we started Grid Catalyst 3 years ago, we set a vision of elevating Minnesota as that global leader in energy and clean tech innovation. We have this incredible history as a region in innovation. Everybody in this room can think of a couple of companies that we know have that global reputation for invention, for bringing things to market that change the world. We can have that with clean tech, and actually I think if we dig deep enough, we already have it here. We have the expertise in energy, we have the expertise in building science and material science. It's here, but sometimes we lack that connectivity. So sometimes getting everybody in a room to learn and connect together helps us elevate that. So a few bragging rights for Minnesota. We have the highest concentration of Fortune 500 companies per capita in the world. Thank you. We have a statewide mandate to have carbon-free energy by 2040. We have a goal of 100,000 clean energy jobs by 2030. We have one of the highest 5-year business survivability rates for startups in the country. And we have an exceptional higher education community. Many of those folks in the room today, between University of Minnesota, which has the Institute on the Environment, the Natural Resource Research Institute, the Center for Renewable Energy Storage Technology, so Morris gets a shout out. We have the University of St. Thomas Center for Microgrid Research, and we have the Minnesota State Center for Energy Excellence, and I'm gonna put Logan Schrader on the spot. Where are you, Logan? If you don't know about this, go talk to Logan today about all the incredible things that are happening across the state. And that's making sure that we are preparing the next generation of the energy workforce, leaders, thinkers, problem solvers. And the last bragging rights are utility partners who are leading the way with the transition of our electric grid and the newly approved Natural Gas Innovation Act, which also deserves a woot woot. Thank you. So just as important as each of these sector highlights may be, it's important we enable the collaboration between the partners so that we can really live up to this potential. That's the thing that if we look back in 10 years and we left any of that potential on the table, will be the thing that's disappointing. Because when you list that, all those things we're doing well, we have everything we need at our hand. It's what we do with it that matters. So if we want to be effective, envied, emulated, it's what we do together that counts. So I'm a bit of a homer, but those are the things about Minnesota that I think, with our climate goals, our globally recognized clean tech economy, and creating the jobs we need to empower communities, and manufacturing and deployment of what's next. So keeping this momentum means we make sure innovators can succeed in Minnesota. I want to offer some gratitude to the state of Minnesota, to our partners at Clean Energy Economy Minnesota, in particular with the state, the Department of Commerce, for enabling the Minnesota Energy Alley initiative. If you don't know about it, it's the only reason we're here. They really have put the investment and the backing into making sure this innovation potential can be realized, and that we can make the pilot projects happen with the startups in our cohorts. So this initiative supports entrepreneur education, mentoring, ecosystem building, so that we can continue to see how competitive we can be. And we put out some audacious goals as a region, right? This is part of how we reach them, is with that innovation. Attracting new companies and solutions here, making sure that we are a region that competes for the best and the brightest. So I haven't talked a lot about startups yet, but this is what I'm passionate about because it's a hard road. If you have never started a business, Go find someone with a green lanyard or find another entrepreneur and hear their story. And some part of you will be like, how can I help? And then figure out how to actually do that. What is it? What is it they need? And money is certainly at the top of the list, but there's so many other things, and that's part of what Minnesota Energy Alley will enable for us. So keep an eye out for the green lanyards. They include all the folks who have been in our portfolio, in our cohorts. Today, you'll hear from our 2024 demonstration cohort, 6 companies, 2 from Minnesota. And then tomorrow, our 9 finalists for the 2025 demonstration cohort will be pitching at the University of St. Thomas. So we are just trying to roll as many great things into the future as we can, but there's a lot of work that has to happen today to enable that. So keep an eye out for those folks, go talk to them about their technology, see how you can help. In addition to the startups, we have fantastic panels today talking about clean tech momentum in Minnesota, policy, innovation in higher ed, how we capitalize all of this good work. I want to give a special thanks to the panelists and moderators who gave time to prepare, came to join us today, and I hope you get a moment to talk with them as well. And then this was the list I needed to make sure I didn't mess up. Thank you to our sponsors, because in addition to our Minnesota Energy Alley funding, the sponsors make having 3 days of programming possible. So thank you to 3M, Avisen Legal, the Center for Microgrid Research at the University of St. Thomas, Centerpoint Energy, Clean Energy Economy Minnesota, Full Stack, Minnesota Department of Commerce, Train, University of Minnesota Technological Leadership Institute, and Vessel. So if you are having some FOMO about not being on that list, you should come talk to us and see what you can sponsor next year, right? And that's what we're supposed to say. So the room is so clearly filled with game-changing humans. As we move through today's event, a few calls to action. Find someone today you have never met and make a new connection. And don't tell me you're an introvert and can't do it. I believe in you. It's totally possible. We want you to build new relationships through this platform that help us move the dial on our ambitious state goals and open up the pathway for the next generation of innovation. Introduce yourself to at least one startup. Figure out how you can help. Go back to your own organizations and share what you've learned. Talk about how you currently embrace innovation and what you think you could do different as an organization in 2025 to embrace innovation. Is it a process? Is it a partnership? Is it a culture shift? Share your experiences, reflections, and insights on the interwebs. We're a really small organization, and it may not seem like much, but if you post on LinkedIn, Twitter, maybe even Instagram, where the young people are hanging out. Actually, it's probably TikTok. That's always really helpful for us for our storytelling and our reach. It's not self-serving. We want every entrepreneur to know we're here to help, and we want every partner that wants to help entrepreneurs to know we're here to partner. So when you help us extend that reach, you're helping all of those startups get what they need. Lastly, keep an eye out for an upcoming announcement, and Kevian will talk about this in the closing as well. We are launching our 2025 Power North Virtual Incubator application on October 21st. This is the first time we're doing a Minnesota-only entrepreneur startup program. It'll run from January to March. This is made possible through the Department of Employment and Economic Development Launch Minnesota program, as well as our partners at McKnight and the Wells Fargo Foundation. This is an opportunity for us to really make sure we're filling the top of the funnel for the folks who can graduate into our cohort programs later. So we want to make sure we reach into all corners of the state. This is a little bit broader than we usually go, so you don't have to be just in energy. If you're working in sustainability, climate, social innovation that helps more people have access to renewable energy or pay for renewable energy opportunities, those are the kind of things that we welcome. There's a little flyer for this at the front table, but come talk to me or Kevian, will you raise your hand? Kevian Ellis, our program manager, is also available to talk through that today. So, lots of stuff going on, lots of opportunities to connect today. Final housekeeping items, and we'll kick off the first panel. So, first panel, that's your cue that you're about up. Table tents have a QR code for you to get the digital agenda. Allows you to browse a little bit more about our speakers, their bios, their backgrounds, and a little bit more about our startups. There's also a few QR codes on the posters around. If you have trouble with those, talk to me, Kevian, or Lily Benowitz, our fantastic event coordinator who's at the front desk. Our event has a hashtag, so again, any tagging a Grid Catalyst in your posts, you can do MN Cleantech Summit. or Accelerate North is our organizational hashtag. Restrooms are just past the registration table and to the right. We'll have refreshments throughout the day. Lunch will be at noon. Luckily, we're in a food hall, so at 11 when that opens, if you want something else, there's all sorts of things. If you guys start hitting the beer wall, it's gonna turn into a very different afternoon. So that should all be available to you. Lily, Kevian, and I are all available to you throughout the day. I'm just lastly gonna say, I get a little schmoopy, it's a technical term, when I get to be in a room like this, because we tried to start something a few years ago with this question of what's possible here. And it's a question that kind of operates at the heart of what we do, what's possible. And sometimes you ask this question of, is it possible to get a room full of people to just come and talk about this? Can we get the experts of our region up to the front of the stage to educate you and connect with you? And will you show up if we throw this kind of party? And it turns out you will. So thank you for being here. I know you're all busy and have great important things going on, but I think this matters. I think it matters for Minnesota. I think it matters for climate action. I think it matters for equitable pathways and entrepreneurship. You being here matters, and I appreciate you all for being here.